there's so much going on from the people and just going around and talking to people. Everybody comes together for one common purpose, right? Is aviation and the love of aviation. To me, that's why we come here, and is to interact with people and look at all these beautiful airplanes.
EAA AirVenture, Oshkosh. To those who have never been, it can seem overwhelming, and for those of us who have been, we know that we can never see it all. There's just so much to take in, from incredible airshow performances to the latest gadgets, newest airplanes. It seems almost never-ending. It's an endless celebration of all things aviation, from where we've been to where we're going and everything in between. And it was here that I would meet Kyle Newsom, the incredibly talented filmmaker whose channel Aviators and Airplanes is an absolutely stunning cinematic showcase of both. A pilot himself, it was no surprise that I would find Kyle behind the controls of one of the many simulators found in the hangars. This one is an awesome Cirrus Vision Jet Sim, complete with caps, as we'll see in just a minute. While I was eager to start diving into the interview, it was awesome taking a leisurely spin around the pixel pattern with Kyle. Always being one for a challenge, though, we quickly went Star Wars mode.
Please make sure your safety restraints are securely fastened at this time.
I've always wanted to do this! We're going We've been hit! Our crew gets stabilized fixed! And hurry! We're losing altitude fast!
Crack the throttle on you. The program simulates lost the inlet. Okay. Once that happens, you start with the pin out, part of the checklist. Oh, you're going to pull down on this, it's going to require about 40 pounds of force. So you're going to want to straight down.
Hey! Sorry, folks! I'm sure to do better next time. It was my first flight, and I'm still getting used to my programming.
We do hope you enjoyed your tour of the
Hey!
and will come back soon.
Okay, that was pretty fun, but we've got to get headed over to Vintage Aircraft and see our friends from Dynamic Aviation. They've got something special planned for us, I'm told. When I told the folks at Dynamic Aviation that I was interviewing Kyle, they suggested we do it aboard the Miss Virginia, their beautiful 1943 C-47 that has been meticulously restored. And I honestly couldn't think of a better backdrop for my talk with the creator of Aviators and Airplanes. From her military service as a troop transport and special weapons center to flying over the dense jungles of South America with the Wycliffe Bible translators and Jungle Aviation and Radio Service, or JARS, the Miss Virginia has had quite the colorful life. Dynamic Aviation would later acquire her in 1990 as an addition to their large fleet of agricultural aircraft. Today, the Miss Virginia is a flying ambassador for Dynamic Aviation's NextGEN program, an immersive, multi-part STEM initiative that teaches students about the scientific and practical aspects of aviation, and ends with a chance to fly on one of Dynamic's fleet aircraft. All this to help inspire the next generation of aviation. Speaking of inspiration, I want to know where Kyle gets his for the amazing films he creates.
So the filmmaking passion started back in 2009 when I went to the Himalayas and bought my first handheld camera. And then when I summited Goulian, and I was just like, then when we got back from the trek, we opened up a library in my great cousin's name, who passed away from lymphoma, unfortunately. And 3 years prior, they did the same trek. So we did the same trek, and I just documented the trek. And when we built that library, I just remember like holding my camcorder, and literally we walked into all these kids, and they were giving cotton necklaces to my great uncle and my great aunt. And I was just like, man, like the people in this world, they all have a story. And I was just like, okay, how can I mix what I have a passion in aviation with filmmaking? And I combine it together, and I realized there's a need for storytelling in aviation. So I was just like, it's time to put my two passions together.
During AirVenture, I had a unique opportunity to exercise my inner aviation filmmaker and do some fun formation flying with Kyle Fowler from Go Easy Aerobatics. While it was an incredibly cool experience, aerial photography is pretty difficult, and I don't quite think I got to Kyle's level. So I wanted to ask him for some pro tips on how he gets such amazing shots.
With any air-to-air formation, right, there's needs to be a lot of aerial coordination, making sure that you're flying with a good safety pilot and a good formation pilot. And so there's a lot of prepping going on. But when it comes to a shot, you have to know what angles you're looking at, lighting direction. Just there's so many different varieties and techniques that everybody will have a different technique. But when it comes like for you, for example, in a Cirrus, there's a silicone like basically covers that you can put against the glass in order to reduce the reflection. So like making those shots beautiful takes a lot of training and technique and going through the process. But once you get it figured out, you can make those shots really, really beautiful.
After capturing so many great aviation stories, I was keen to learn what's next for Kyle in his filmmaking career.
With aviation filmmaking, I want to continue challenging myself. My end goal is actually to make an IMAX film in aviation. So there's a lot of training and time consumed with this, but I just want to consume myself with the people and the people around aerial cinematography, and just understand it and work with the pros and learn until I can keep growing and eventually create my own film.
While we were aboard the Miss Virginia, we learned what comes next for Dynamic Aviation, and that is the next phase in the restoration of an incredible piece of history, a very special Lockheed Constellation, the first Air Force One, which sounds like it has attracted the attention of at least one awesome aviation filmmaker.
I absolutely want to come out and do some aviation filmmaking with the Connie once it's all finished, but also during the process too, because there's so much getting involved, and the people that are building it, that takes a lot of time and energy, and that is super significant because there's a lot of history with those people because they put so much passion into building these airplanes.
If you would like to know how to be a part of the restoration of this amazing piece of history, then visit firstairforce1.org for more. It's been said that AirVenture is where aviation dreams come true, and that is certainly the case for me on this trip. From getting to climb aboard and share a bit of the past with a friend, to my first aerial photography experience, it's really been an amazing show. There is much more to come from this adventure, and those videos will be out soon. In the meantime, there are a lot of things you can do, but above all, you should always watch your attitude. We'll see you next time, y'all.